Gentlemen, I've got Andrew. Andrew, you contacted a page a month or two ago about you're going to be doing this walk, aren't you?
I am, yeah. It was last month. Me and a friend of mine, another bloke, and his son, we're walking the full length of Hadrian's Wall at the start of August, 31st of July to 5th of August. Um,
So
uh,
that's what I love. When you said like you got one of the lad, your lad or your mate's lad?
it's my mate's lad. He's 9 years old. I got the age wrong at first. I thought it was 8, but he's actually 9.
No,
Uh,
that's our rights as men are to forget birthdays and forget
yeah.
ages at the end of the
But,
day. And I was like, well done to you, rather than just blokes doing it. Actually, you got a lad involved as well, so well done to you.
Yeah, I mean he comes hiking with us every weekend, to be honest. So he's used to doing a good 10, 12 mile a weekend with us. Um, but him and his dad did Hadrian's Wall last year, so he's done it before. So he's actually more experienced than I am on that walk. To be
Uh,
fair, and he's
Dragging your ass around.
yeah. Um, but yeah, me and his dad's become good friends since the start of the year, just through meeting through hiking groups.
Well, okay.
Um, both of us suffering from different mental health uh, issues. Like I've spent all last year recovering from mine,
Yeah.
and this year I'm sort of on I would like to say an even keel, but I'm more. I can recognise in myself that I am mentally tired with everything that I'm going through,
Yeah.
with my kids and stuff like that. And then I think it was 2 months ago, just said, I'm doing Hadrian's Wall in August. Do you want to come with us? I went, yeah, I'm up for that. He went, you do know it's 95 miles. I went, yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's only 95 miles of walking. Um, it's fine. But we're going to be the first day, the 31st, we're only going to do about 6 miles that day because we'll be traveling up
Yeah.
from where we are near Manchester. Well, that's where I am anyway. And then every other day after that, sorry, we've got an average about 16, 17 miles a day
Yeah.
um, to reach the end by the 5th of August.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just a great opportunity to help other people out as well. My friend Adi, he's raising money for Click Sergeant. That's the charity his lad wanted to raise money for.
Is that the
Um,
kids cancer one? Was that right?
yeah, I think it is. I don't know much about it, but I think it is a children's cancer charity.
Wow. Okay.
And me, obviously, I've, from suffering from mental health issues, uh, obviously throughout the years. Not all the time, but I've had two breakdowns in my life.
Yeah.
I know how bad it can get for
Yeah.
blokes. But I've also been on the receiving end of it not being taken seriously, and sometimes even laughed at, and most of the time ignored, or forgotten about, nobody checking in.
Yeah.
Um, when obviously in the initial stage, people are there, but then afterwards, when you're recovering, it all fades out, and then
Yeah.
one day you're left on your own, still dealing with the with what's going on in your head. But I just thought it's a great opportunity to be able to raise money for a charity, and to be honest, it was only ever going to be a men's mental health charity for me.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, I looked online and I saw you guys, and I just like the way you are questioning the phrase of man up as well, because I hate it. I hate that phrase.
Do you know what the true meaning of man up is in the Oxford Dictionary?
No, I don't. I
Here
didn't
we
look
go.
it up.
I'm going to go off on one on a big script
Yeah,
now. I've literally memorized it. But the true meaning of man up in the Oxford Dictionary, that's like our Bible, isn't it, really, of the English language.
yeah.
So I've Googled all that since 1864, allegedly, according to Google.
Okay.
So there you go. But the true meaning of man up is to be brave enough to deal with an unpleasant or an awkward situation.
Yeah, they should really replace that with courage.
Yeah, no, exactly that. It's none of this. Oh, get on with it, brush yourself, stiff upper
Yeah,
lip, brush yourself, drag your knuckles along the floor.
yeah.
It's actually to be brave enough to deal with an unpleasant or an awkward situation, and that's why we massively promote unapologetic up to a point of just like just speak to someone. I don't think there's actually much stronger than a bloke saying, "Life's a bit of shit at the minute. Can you help me out, mate?"
There's no shame in it, and there's no harm in it, even though men still face that stigma.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a massive stigma. I mean, even online now, recently I saw something where a bloke went on TikTok. I think he was married for either 26 years or 46 years, and he was a truck driver, and he was just breaking down in tears that his wife decided to leave him.
Wow.
And people were just taking the piss out of him for crying online.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there were some people sitting there supporting the guy and helping him and saying, this is why men do not speak out, because of people taking the mick, laughing at him because he's emotional and he's depressed and he's low and he's trying to reach out for help. And both men and women were like, you shouldn't be crying online. You shouldn't be speaking out online. Go pay for a therapist. Well, who can afford a therapist
Well, exactly
nowadays?
that. Yeah.
And NHS is it's not even there. Um, with my breakdown in 21, I had one meeting with the crisis team at hospital. As soon as I came back home, that was it. Didn't hear from him again.
Yeah. So how did you get to where you are now then? Did you literally excuse? Did you literally just have to man up? Here we go. Did you literally just go? Do you know what? I don't know. With me, I think I just there's a Rika moment. I think. Well, I'm like, do you know what? Resources are crap. Blah 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 blah. This is what I need. This is what I need to do. And for me, it was be a bit more open with my wife. And
Well, I can tell you, my first breakdown was 2009 when me and the mother of my children split up and she took the children from me. And she wouldn't let me see them anymore because I was already suffering from depression after losing my job a week before my daughter was born. And but being back then, being a male and going, nothing wrong with me, I'll be all right, and basically telling myself to man up,
yeah,
which, you know, and ignoring it and it just festering and getting worse. Um, that breakdown, I was literally on my own and I started drinking ridiculously. Um, I probably wasn't far off becoming alcoholic because I was going through like a crate of 20 cans a night just to numb the pain of losing
yeah,
the kids. Um, but then I don't know what it was, just one day I just started running. You know, just one day I just started going jogging. But it took it took like nearly a year to recover from that.
yeah,
Um, but the breakdown I had at the end of 2021, um, I do feel I was very lucky. I had two people that I could reach out to, and one of them was my kickboxing coach, and me and him had been friends for 10 years. I hadn't been training in that time, but me and him had been friends for the 10 years. And I just spoke to him one day and told him everything that was going on. And he said, right, get your backside into the gym tomorrow. And you can do a few free sessions with me. You can hit the heavy bag. You can do whatever you need to do. And he stayed by my side all the way through. And January last year, I started kickboxing properly because the owner of the gym I train in, um, she's known me for since 2014. And my coach told her what I'd been going through. And
yeah,
she said, right, you get down here for the classes. I'll sponsor you for 2 months, I think it was. And the classes were Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. every night.
yeah,
And you just come down, you train. You don't have to do any kickboxing. You can just train, do body weight exercises, whatever. And that was what kept me on the straight and narrow. as well as trying to work a full-time job and look after two kids on my own, two teenagers on my own. My children were
Because
my inspiration.
you're a single dad, aren't you?
Well, I was
Right. Okay.
until last August, but my children were my inspiration to get better, and first and foremost.
Yeah.
But my tools to get better was kickboxing,
Yeah.
and then everything was going great. Me and the kids were almost back to normal, back to how we were before my breakdown. Everything was going well. All three of us were training and doing kickboxing. Me and my kids. And then last August, the mother of my kids adopted them, and I haven't been able to get them home since.
Wow.
Uh, she locked them in her house for a month. I'd had a child arrangements order in place since 2014, saying that I have full custody of the kids and the kids live with me. Police refused to enforce it. And that whole month, I had to go back to court and get 5 court orders in place before I could get the kids removed from the house.
Wow.
In that time, she's been abusive towards kids for years. It's all recorded. The last 8 years, it's all recorded, her abusive behaviour, to the point she was found guilty in court of assaulting my son anyway.
I was going to say, you know, this video will go on our social pages, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I wanted to just because sometimes we go on there and then I'm thinking, will he regret this? I just wanted just to clarify that one.
No, I don't regret it.
Yep.
I'm open and honest with it, because one, I know there are other men who have gone through this before
Yep.
me. There's men going through it while I'm going through it, and there's going to be more men going through it after my situation has been and gone.
Yeah.
So I don't mind speaking about it openly, but it's one of the reasons why I'm doing the Hadrian's Wall walk as well. Um, I've got 2 police officers, ranked officers, putting down on record they can see the mum's manipulation, coaching, and coercion in what's being said about me.
Yeah.
And I was completely exonerated last November of any wrongdoing. Right? Nobody's ever had an issue with me. Doctor schools never had an issue, and they're the key factors.
Yeah.
That when you go to family law, they're the key factors that are looked into. Do the schools have any issues? Do the doctors have any issues? No one's ever had an issue with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So November, my kids should have come back home, but they didn't, because I'm now dealing with a social worker who is basically, it's all one-sided, and she's just supporting the mother no end.
Yeah.
Last Christmas, the mother got my kids drunk. She plied them with alcohol, shots of spirits and wine, and the social worker says that's not a child protection issue. But me telling my kids no, raising them with rules and boundaries, does not meet their emotional needs, so I can't raise them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So even now, I'm in a 3-bed house as I'm talking to you, and the kids' bedrooms have been empty since last August, and I've been fighting a corrupt system ever since. It's ridiculous. But
Excuse me.
Hadrian's Wall, for me personally, I'm hoping all this that I've been through, I can leave on that walk.
Yeah.
Not to forget about it, but when I come back home, I can sort of get to a point where I can move forward from it.
What, the slate clean, so to speak.
Basically, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with my children. I don't know if they're coming home. Even though I've done nothing wrong, I've not been allowed to see him since the 16th of August last year.
Wow.
Which it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, because when the mother was on trial for assaulting my son, she had her bail conditions changed so she can still see my son.
Wow.
But I've done nothing wrong and I can't see them.
Yeah.
I mean, the family law system is not fit for purpose at all.
As a
And
charity, I can't really comment on that, but
no, I know you can.
yeah,
But I know a lot of men are suffering because of family law.
yeah,
And it's charities like yourself that men need. They need this outlet. They need a charity like yourself to be able to go to and say, this is what I'm going through. Because probably one of the hardest things to ever hurt a bloke is family law,
yeah, yeah,
is having his children taken from him because of a toxic ex, and then having to sit there and listen to lies being told about him. And a system that's supposed to be 50-50 is actually 90-10. And he's done nothing wrong but love his kids. And the mother just wants to score points. I mean, I'm not saying it's just that way. I know there are some men that know how to play the system as well, but
oh yeah,
vast majority.
there's some complete scumbags
Yeah.
of all genders.
Oh yeah.
The scumbags in all over the human race. So it's sort of all of that crap you've gone through or going through as well. Have you not lost yourself? Because you seem quite a nice guy. Have you not lost? Have you not gone mental other than breakdowns?
To be honest, I don't know. Hiking and kickboxing, they've kept, even though I'm mentally tired from it all, they've kept me from breaking down.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I've asked myself quite a few times, what is the purpose of my life? Is it to carry on going through this sort of crap?
yeah,
Is it to go through this crap and then be there for my kids when they're adults and they can break through the manipulation on their own because they're adults and they've got that adult maturity? Or are things going to change completely and things are just going to get better for me anyway?
yeah,
I can't answer that question of what is the purpose of my life because I just don't know.
yeah,
I've actually spent most of it on my own, just on my own. The last 8 years, just been a single dad on my own.
yeah,
I've had probably 2 fleeting relationships in that time, and that was it. Um, but as a single dad, the social side of things is a lot more difficult because, like, when my kids were in primary school, most of my friends were the school mums. You
right,
know,
okay. Yeah,
we'd meet in the morning, we'd chat while we're waiting for the kids to go in, and then at the end of the school day, we'd meet and chat. Now, a lot of the single mums there, they could arrange with each other to go out, say, go for a coffee or go to walking around somewhere, you know, or do something just so they've got a social life. But then when it was, say, like me and say one of the mums, there was always that element of awkwardness involved because male, female, you know, and most of my male mates are in relationships and they're working, and you know, it was when they had a night free, it was like, "Oh, you coming out?" No, I can't. You know, I've got no babysitter. I've got kids to look after.
yeah,
So I found myself quite isolated and alone a lot of the time. Um, but there's nothing really I could do apart from lean on work.
yeah,
You know, so I try to separate home life and work. So when I'm in work, I can do all the things that you'd normally do when you're socializing, like chatting, conversations, having a laugh, this, that, and the other.
yeah,
Then when I leave work and I go home, I'm single parent, chatting away to the kids, having a laugh with the kids, doing child and parent things together.
yeah,
And yeah, I didn't really have time to do much hobby wise.
yeah,
Um, but with my kids being older now, obviously I was getting a bit more freedom. You know, they're old enough to stay at home on their own for an hour or two.
yeah,
So I could go out and say go kickboxing and train, or just meet up with a couple of mates, go for a drink somewhere in the evening. You know, just that little bit of freedom.
Yeah.
And then obviously everything that's happened since August last year has changed everything again. And the only thing that's really kept me going is hiking, like I said.
Yeah.
I've joined a few hiking groups. I've made quite a lot of friends there. And I'm in one of the groups, it's a monthly group. They get like 100, up to 100 people attend this hike every month.
Yeah.
Because the guy who runs it, his backstory is, unbelievably inspirational. I won't talk about it because it's not mine to talk about, but yeah, he's been sort of rock bottom and really built himself back up again. So a lot of people join that each month and the group was set up for improving mental health.
Yeah.
So both men and women can come, children can come, everything. And I joined that last November. The first hike I did with that group was Christmas Day because I was on my own.
Yeah.
And we did 4 hikes Christmas Day. And I've been joining them every month. And I found a place in that group where he calls us the Sherpas, where we look after everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy at the back. So I stay at the back and look after everyone at the back. But I've made quite a few friends doing that as well.
Yeah.
And when that one's not on, I'm out hiking every weekend with another group of friends. And, I've just sort of found that place where when I'm on those hikes, I can process everything
Yeah.
that I'm going through and then leave it there.
I because so I do wild camping quite a lot. I'm always up to the Peak District and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally.
That's what I do as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, yeah, I'm going down a couple of weeks actually. I try to do like every 3 months, just
Yeah,
up there, and because obviously you can go straight to Edo on the train station, can't you? And
you
then
can.
got the Nag's Head, and then there you go, and then you're lost to the world, aren't you, for like 3, 4
Yeah.
days? So no,
Where you think?
I totally and utterly get it, mate. I really
Yeah.
do.
Where are you thinking of going?
Well, as I literally because of where I live, I literally just get the train all the way to Edo. Because if you get the timing right, it's like 40 quid there and back. I can't even
Yeah,
drive actually. Yeah, it's a 3 hour train drive and whatever else needs to change. But there you go, it's just straight in. So yeah,
yeah,
but I'll tell you all about. I'll tell you that off air, so to speak.
yeah. No, that's fine, mate.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that. So yeah.
I
So
do a lot of wild camping myself. The last one I did was on top of Winnets Pass.
oh right, okay, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
we was told at the time we don't have permission, but they gave us a buy on that. They said it's okay, you can do it for
yeah.
tonight.
Well,
So yeah,
I will say because I'm representing the charity, wild camping is illegal in England and Wales, so please get landowners permission, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
But yeah, I love Edale and Kinder Scout and all of that kind of stuff. I
yeah,
just, but just before George Scott, I'm just conscious of the time, mate, because
yeah.
later don't watch anything. No. So if anyone's watching this, because sadly there will be blokes going through this what you've been through. What's your advice? What's your advice for a cricketer? What's your advice for them not to? Because you just seem one of those people. I'll be very careful what I say. I've been in that situation, not as dramatic as yours. I don't mean how that sounds. Where kids with
Yeah.
somebody else, blah, blah, and it's horrible. It really is. There's nothing more undermining than having to ask permission to see your own kids, blah blah blah. But you're one of those few ones where you seem to you haven't filled yourself up with hate public.
Oh, it's boiling under the surface. Don't you worry. But I mean, I'll be honest, I've had my years of hate in the past.
Yeah.
Um,
Gets you nowhere, though, doesn't it? That's the problem.
it does, it does. I've spent most of my life on my own. I've got parents who don't want to be parents. I've got siblings who don't want to be siblings. Um, I've basically been on my own and had to be my own backup. But for people that are going through something similar or going through really testing times, all I can say is there's a motivational speech from Motiversity called "Never Give Up," And basically, you just never give up, because if you've got children, no matter what's happening, your children are always the innocent victims in it. And eventually, one day, they are going to need you. No matter if it's parent alienation or abuse, like my children have been put through by their mother, or if you've just been completely blocked out of your kids' lives, they're gonna need you. And if you're not around, who are they going to turn up? Who are they going to have there by their side when they need you? Each day is going to be difficult to start again, but you just have to do it. You keep yourself in a routine. If you're working, get yourself up, go to work, come home. Just talk to people, even if it's just work colleagues, just talk. Even if it's not about what you're going through, just talk about something else. You know, football, sports, the Ashes are on, talk about it. Even if it takes your mind off of what you're going through for a minute, do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just never give up. And you will always find that strength within you to start again, because it's always there. It will never disappear.
Yeah.
It's just blocked out by other things that make you think it's not there.
Yeah. Massively agree, isn't it? When things cock up, forgive yourself.
Yeah. Take accountability for any mistakes you've made. Take responsibility for it. Apologize, and try and build bridges for any mistakes you've made. But don't let someone hold that over your head. Don't let someone punish you for, if minor mistakes. Don't let someone turn around and go, well, we did that.
Yeah.
If your mistakes haven't hurt anyone, or they haven't caused any danger to anyone or anything like that, like my mistake, my breakdown, I hurt myself physically, but obviously, you know, I hurt my children emotionally. Before what the mother did, I spent every day reinforcing that, you know, that was my mistake, but it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, and it's not going to happen again, and I shouldn't have done that, and it's not going to happen again. But we're going to look forward. We're going to be positive about everything from now on. You know, maybe inside I was thinking, can I be bothered to be positive about everything? But I was putting on that front for the kids.
Yeah.
So they can see that, yes, even as adults, you can be at the very bottom and lowest of how far you can go. It's how you respond after that matters.
Yeah.
You know, if you carry on being like that and you don't do anything to help yourself, then I'll try and use my words carefully. If you carry on and you don't do anything to help yourself, you don't do anything to improve the situation for yourself, not for anyone else, but for yourself, you're kind of setting an example of wallowing in self-pity, wanting everyone to come in and do everything for you instead of doing it yourself. But if you show them,
pity party.
yeah, but if you show them that, yes, I was at my lowest end, but I'm working hard now to get back to how you knew me beforehand, and they can see that happening every day, then you're setting an example of, it's okay to suffer and be depressed. It's okay to go that low. It's okay to feel like you do when you are depressed. You know, it's okay, even for men, it's okay to have breakdowns. It's okay to feel vulnerable. But it's how you react afterwards. And if you act in a positive way, then you're setting a positive example. So if you show them that I'm here, I'm going to work, I'm training, you can see me smiling and laughing and joking with you, you know, just being as positive as you possibly can to show them that it's okay to go that low, but it's also okay to get yourself back to how you was before.
Exactly. That's a better point, mate. And I think on that bombshell, that's probably one of the best endings I've had to the video. Let me hit the record button 1 second, mate.